previously showed a car that had had its back window knocked out by Palestinian extremists firing rockets into an area where there's Israeli settlers illegally there. And here's a photo a friend of mine took of these Palestinian militants in Gaza with their homemade rockets getting ready to fire them, you know. And a couple of photos of how other kinds of the damage. Here's where one hit the roof of this apartment building and knocked a hole in it. And then here's one that hit the road and exploded. And while it's horrible and could be deadly, it's, you know, I like to try to help people see the contrast to what it means when you hear about Israeli bombing. So for example, here's a photo of Israel bombing using bombs and aircraft partially provided for or paid for with US tax dollars, and the kind of damage it does. Here's a picture, you know, this is near Gaza City where, you know, just devastating the damage it does. Here's bombs exploding there in Gaza. Here's bombs still falling. This is a United Nations school, and I'd been staying in that school when Israel started bombing. There was nothing going on really there was a thing in northern Palestine where militants had attacked some Israeli settlers, and so the Israelis in military decided to bomb Gaza, which there was no direct correlation between the two, but yet they can use those kind of things for excuses. And you can see here's the Mediterranean Sea in the background. And when the bombing started, this was a whole city over here. We moved out onto this farm that a friend of ours has there. And this is how wide, this was right on the border of Gaza. And so you can see how wide Gaza is in that area there. It's about 7 miles total, you know, there. And you can see the rockets still falling. You can see the UN school. And I think about, here's the United Nations and the Israeli military. I mean, they can't say, well, oh yeah, there was terrorists hanging out there. I mean, you know, this is, you know, it's crazy. And they just, you know, the bomb's still falling, and, you know, let's think here. Yeah, here's others. There's a photo here of in a city where the bombs hit and just totally wrecked everything that's there. I mean, it's incredible. And so when you contrast the damage that these rockets, the Palestinians, you hear in the news, Palestinians fired rockets at Israelis, and I'm not justifying those are equally wrong and horrible, but the contrast between what one side does to the other, it's not even close. The other thing Israel does is they use tear gas and other chemical weapons and stuff. So here's this is also a United Nations school, and here they're firing these chemical weapons, tear gas and other stuff. And if you remember the photo back here, I'll step back, of the kids being burned, you know, that's the kind of damage these chemicals can do. And so you can see the people here in this UN school fleeing. Here's, you know, medical personnel just fleeing for your life. And I mean, it's not like it's a bomb, but it's equally as crazy. And you can see the damage, the widespread damage these do. And they not only explode them above people, they'll fire them where they'll actually explode in the ground and scatter back out. And this photo here was a situation where the people in Gaza had arranged a large nonviolent gathering on the border of Gaza and Israel. And they went there with really positive and had done a lot of groundwork, laying the grounds for what they wanted to have, a totally nonviolent event, and to express their concerns for the situation they're facing and how they want to transcend that and find ways to work with the Israelis to, to be able to travel outside of Gaza. And the response was, as the group got near the border, and they'd done all these trainings with people that to be nonviolent, and if anything happens, this is how you respond, and if nothing else, just back away and leave, And as the people are coming and approaching the border, they just started firing all these chemical weapons, into them. Then, as the people fled over towards the northern part of the border, there was a hillside there that had Israeli soldiers on it, and firing automatic weapons at the people, and killed hundreds of people that day, people fleeing this into something even more deadly. And again, it's not going to make people want to be friends. This is going to just escalate the anger and hatred and frustration against Israel. And it's and that's the thing we try to transcend and, get in touch with Israelis willing to work for peace and helping them visit with Palestinians and do things, rebuild homes and that kind of stuff, to put a human face on the other side, to see people are just like us, but we need to transcend this conflict.